I was a teenager in the 80s and I absolutely loved that decade. I embraced it all. Shoulder pads, rah-rah skirt, neon, big hair. The music was brilliant. It was bold, it was brash, as were my favourite cars of the time. Because the 80s was the era of the hot hatch. Fun, affordable little pocket rockets. And the ultimate incarnation of those were the rally specials, these cars that looked a little bit like something you might take to the supermarket, but hid mid-engined high-performance madness. And while you will never ever see me embrace neon or leg warmers, or indeed perm my hair again, one 80s trend that I welcome the return of with open arms is this. Say hello to the Renault 5 Turbo 3E. It is a proper 540 brake horsepower mini supercar. Cue my 80s mixtape, let's take it for a spin, or perhaps just have a look round it because we can't drive it yet. But do make sure you subscribe because we will be driving it soon. So this is quite clearly a descendant of one of the most bonkers cars ever made, the original Renault 5 Turbo, which was built in the early 1980s. Now, the closest I ever got to an R5 Turbo back in the day was as a pretty decent scoring card in Top Trumps. So being here today does make the teenager in me extremely happy. So yes, it is of course vaguely based on the modern day all-electric Renault 5, a car we love at Electrifying. But I reckon that these rear tail lights are pretty much where that resemblance starts to fade. The only things on this car that are followed over from that Renault 5 production car are these tail lights, the front windscreen, the door handles, but this car doesn't have them because it's a kind of, prototype, and the wing mirrors. As you can see, Renault has gone full on 80s. It has embraced neon, bold, brash design, big skirts, even shoulder pads in the form of these rather excellent rear wing extensions, of which I massively approve. It is a bit mad, isn't it? You can't fail to notice the carbon fibre splitter, the rear diffuser. And none of those are here just for show though. The whole thing has been engineered to slice through air. It's balancing downforce and efficiency. Even the charging port is hidden away in one of these side scoops, which incidentally have replaced the rear doors from the conventional 5. Every centimetre of this car has been engineered to max out the aero, which is key on any supercar, even more so on one like this, which is electric. Right, performance, and as you'd expect, this is actually pretty light. It weighs in at just 1,450 kilograms, and that includes a 70 kilowatt hour battery, and they're hoping to shave some of that weight off as well. But it's the dimensions I find really fascinating. It's just over 4 meters long, so the size of a small runaround. But at just over 2 meters wide, it has the width of a supercar, hence the new name that Renault has come up with for it, mini supercar. Okay, probably enough of the mini. Should we go big now? Because when it comes to numbers, they are really rather big. Underneath this retro shell lies an absolute beast. You've got 540 brake horsepower from a pair of really revolutionary in-wheel motors which are fitted to the rear 20-inch wheels. Those motors produce 4,800 Newton meters of torque, which is ridiculous, isn't it? And yes, you did hear that right.
In case you were wondering, that's the same amount of torque as 21 standard Renault 5 E-Techs, which sounds insane. Because it is. It probably won't surprise you to know that this is a theoretical maximum, not the actual power you'll get in day-to-day driving. But it is safe to say that this thing will be frighteningly fast off the mark, even by electric car standards, due to the way those motors are directly linked to each rear wheel.
And this lightweight hatchback isn't just fast, it promises to be pretty agile. You're going to get really great control from those individual motors here. That's going to help with that, as well the fact that the battery is positioned under the floor. This has allowed Alpine engineers to tune the suspension to get maximum performance out of it, including apparently some insane drifting capability. It's going to be fitted with drift assist tech, and it will get a rally style vertical handbrake, and it's got that carbon fibre chassis which will keep the weight down. All of that promises absolutely loads of fun, doesn't it? As does the fact that 0 to 60 will take you just under 3.5 seconds, which puts it firmly in supercar territory. I would show you inside, but there is nothing to see inside. But because this is, believe it or not, a road legal car, you actually get a fairly plush interior. Of course, you get a pair of bucket seats, but you also get the steering wheel from the Alpine A290. You get physical climate controls. You get a set of twin infotainment screens that are Google powered. So there are going to be a surprising amount of creature comforts in there, unlike the R5 Turbo of old. I think I pointed to the wrong side before when I talked about charging, because the charging port will be hidden under here. It's not on this because obviously this isn't a real car. And just like everything else on this car, charging is super fast. It's got 800 volt architecture, which means it's capable of charging at speeds of up to 350 kilowatts DC. That means that you can top this up from 10 to 80% in 15 minutes, which is really speedy, isn't it? But I guess if you're buying this car, you don't want to hang around for anything, do you?
This video is brought to you with Anderson EV, the UK's most awarded home charge point brand of 2024, offering over 200 colour and finish options, a market-leading 7-year warranty, and a unique hidden tethered cable.
If I'm looking a little purple, don't panic. I'm not ill, it's just the very strange lighting in here. But while I'm here at the back, let's talk about boot space. Let's get back to some practicality, shall we? Because of the packaging of these in-wheel motors on either side here at the back, and also the way the battery is down underneath, you get loads of rear space. Can't lift the boot up to show you, but there is a lot of luggage space in there. Renault is very proud of it, so I wanted to share that with you. But I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this video and you're into this car, it's not because of how many bags you can fit in the boot. As with all the best supercars, the Renault 5 Turbo 3E will be massively customizable. You will basically be able to choose whatever colours you want, whatever livery you want, delve into the historic back catalogue, find something you fancy. Yes, you can have that. In fact, owners will also be able to work with the design team to spec their cars. Your wish will be their command. So shall we end with a couple of numbers? One small and one big. Let's go with the small one first. So this will be produced in a very, very limited run of just 1,980 cars. Each one will be numbered. The 1,980 refers, of course, to the year that the R5 Turbo first appeared. The big number? Well, it will not surprise you that that is the price. We're looking at around £150,000 for this. By the time you've specced it up and had fun and gone in to meet the designers, could be as much as £200,000, which I know is an awful lot of money for a car like this. But don't forget, it's limited edition, it's fast, it's really quite unique, and Renault reckon that this will become a future collector's item. You know, maybe Goodwood Revival in 2080. Who knows, it could be there. But here is a thought for you. Would you rather have one of these or a collection of cars? A pristine, original Renault 5 Turbo from the 1980s, maybe an Alpine A290, and how about a long-range Renault 5 for your daily driver? Which would you go for? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you know when we get to drive this beast.